Amazon Games is making some moves. They're going to be making a new Lord of the Rings game. Yeah,
man.
Embracer recently bought all the Lord of the Rings IP, including the game stuff. And
Okay, hold
now
on.
they're doing Lord of the Rings MMO.
It's the same team that made New World. Dude.
It's the same team that made New World. Yeah, that's the subtext of that headline.
That was like a Simpsons skit. Like every time JP would say something.
Yeah.
I wanted so badly for New World to do well, man. And and I love Lord of the Rings. It's like I want it to be good. There's already a Lord of the Rings MMO.
There is. It's old as shit.
Wait a
I
second.
played it.
Hold on. So, Goth, you were like a New World guy. Like you were on top of it. You were in it. Doesn't the idea of like the lore of LOTR in a New World style thing, is that not exciting for you?
If they could build the game around it, you know. And there have been some things that the New World team has done well, but it feels like every time they do something well, they stumble 4 times after, and it's a shame. Because there's a lot of good there, but then there's always an asterisk, you know. And I just want a game without asterisks. You know what I mean? Does
that exist?
Yeah, does that exist?
I don't.
Well,
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo put one out.
I hope it's good.
Can
I'll check it out.
Want that?
We can want that. We deserve it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. I'll try it out, but I'm going in cautiously cautious about it. We'll see.
It's a very strange
Did any
thing.
of you guys play the original Lord of the Rings MMO?
Yes, I played till max level. I played a champion. It's whichever class had the flag and like did shouts. That was didn't that game use GameSpy? Like, isn't it old enough to where it used some sort of, or maybe GameSpy had like a beta for it or something? Oh, it's Captain. Thank you, Chet. There was some sort of. It's old. I actually played that within the past like 2 years. I logged in just to see what it looked like. There's still people playing. You know, I think they have an expansion for it 6 months ago or a year ago. They had some sort of update for it. So it's an odd time for them, I'm sure, where like another company, Amazon, not just any company, Amazon is out there saying like, yeah, we're making a new Lord of the Rings MMO. And you guys will just have to deal with that, I guess. Sorry.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Hope it's good.
Yeah. And Goth is right. It's from Amazon Games Orange County, which are the folk responsible for New World. Which, Goth, where is New World in terms of development? Are they done?
They do one big yearly thing now, and then they're doing seasonal. So they have like a seasonal story and then events, and yeah, it's there's still a lot on the horizon that should have been there at launch. You know, like cross-server battlegrounds, cross-server dungeons, still not there. So the problem with New World is it's baked into this idea that you have like 2,400 people on a server maximum, and it relies on a server economy. It relies on everybody on that server doing like dungeons or PvP or whatever. So if your server starts to die, which has happened a lot, it snowballs. Economy dies, crashes. Everything's too expensive. You can't queue in for a dungeon. You can't queue in for a PvP. So you have to swap servers or get merged into another one, and your entire server culture gone.
That's
and that's heartbreaking. I had a couple servers get merged, and then I got into a new one, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool. Everybody's nice." And then the same thing started to happen. You know, so if there should have been cross-server everything at launch. I commend them for trying something different, because in classic MMOs, like having that server culture was so cool, but it's just a different time.
A lot
now.
of MMOs, absolutely.
You know, like I was Fen and Row in EverQuest. Like that was my server. There were people on the server you knew. These are the guys. You know, you saw that guy walking around. It's like, that's a dude I want to be. Like
Totally,
I think that's
the ultimate first edition photo.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. So I think they tried to go for that sort of thing with New World. Commend them for it, but cross server, especially for like low man activities or PvP, is kind of a must. Like people, if you want to do a thing, you should be able to do a thing in a live game these days. Otherwise, it's tough. I don't want to wait 20 minutes to do a battleground.
Yeah, you want it waiting for anything.
Completely.
Yeah, you want the instant. the instant aspect.
Cries and Tarkov.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
One of the reasons Dark and Darker did so freaking well
is how fast it was.
Every single streamer you'd hear would be like, "Yeah, I die and I'm back in a new round in 2 minutes." Like, why I'm playing this game.
Well, and it makes sense for those type of games too, because you do just die so fast.
Sometimes, dude, it is one of the worst feelings in recent gaming memory to get like a 20-minute Tarkov queue and then just log in, literally be running across an open field, and then you just fall over dead.
Dude, have you seen some of those Summit clips where that'll happen? It'll be like a 20 or 25-minute queue. He'll literally spawn in, and you just hear the bullet shot, and then his screen goes black, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he just loses his mind because he didn't even get to play. He just died immediately and lost a ton of fucking gear. They're really fun to watch, but also frustrating as shit as a player.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Brutal as hell for a player.
Is it not something that would benefit from 10 seconds of invincibility frames or something like that?
Oh, well, it's not. It's dying in the first few minutes is generally what it is. A lot of times you don't die instantly, like because
it's rare.
Generally, the game puts you where there aren't other players. But it's the kind of thing where you will have not done anything before you died. You will not have even seen a player, seen an NPC, gotten to an important location, and then you just fall over dead.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot.
Happens a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens with all the Amazon Lord of the Rings stuff. I'll tell you this much: we're gonna get fucking paid. We're gonna play that game. They're gonna be doing sponsored streams. Shit.
That's fair too.
Dude, I hope it's good, man. I've been needing a new MMO. I wanted to like New World.
Yeah,
I wanted to. It brought me physical and mental pain turning down that giant sponsored stuff. But it's like, it's just it's got to have a spark, man. It's got to have a spark. And if the spark's not there for you, you're not going to have fun. It's not going to be a good time.
Were you invited to do the Return to a Tournament event?
Brother, I was supposed to be one of the captains.
Yeah, you're supposed to be one of the captains.
They wanted me to be one of the 3 captains, and I played the beta and was like, I can't do this. I'm sorry.
It was a cool fucking event, though.
I have to tell you, man, that event was a lot of fun.
It was pretty
because
fun.
It was in its own microcosm. You know?
I have no doubt that it would have been awesome. People were there, the hype for new MMOs was there, and all that stuff. The problem was that I didn't have fun playing that game. And I would not.
I like the gameplay a lot. Personally.
And I have learned, if there's one thing I've learned, especially recently, if I'm not having fun playing the game, my stream's gonna suck.
Fair.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And considering they wanted like months of playtime.
Oh, it was a lot of time.
It was a lot of time, yeah.
And I already knew I did not like the game. So it's like, do I really want to subject the people that have subbed to me and are paying me money to like these really bad streams? It's just I couldn't do it. So
well, I want to personally thank you for turning that down, because I'm pretty sure when you turned that down, they hit me up to be a captain.
Dude, that is, and well, here's the thing, and you're perfect for that, because I know for a fact you loved it. You had a great time.
It was a good time.
And that's good content. You're happy. The devs are happy. Everyone's happy. The world's turning. It's great. So that's just a better fit, man. That's a better fit, and that's awesome. So I'm thrilled that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Lord of the Rings, man, I'm hoping, the hope is that they're going to take all of that stuff, for instance, that Goth was just talking about, because I mean, obviously, New World is not where any of them want it to be, not where Amazon wants it to be, not where the devs want it to be. It's just not in a good place. Never really got to a good place. It got to a pretty good place, like right after that sponsor thing. Even I was kind of like, maybe it's going somewhere, right? A lot of people still playing it. The sponsored thing's over. It's like been 2 weeks later. The streamers are still logging in every day to play it. Maybe this is kind of good. But just like Goss said, then it started snowballing. Like, it took about a month, but then it started snowballing. All of a sudden, there's 60% of the streamers playing it. Then there's 30%. Then 3 months later, there's like literally a handful of people playing the game. And I remember one of those points I asked my chat, like, is anyone still playing New World? And like 5 people said yes, and like 300 said no.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh man.
That game
like, it's heartbreaking in a lot of ways.
New World was buy to play with no sub, right?
Correct. Yeah, now they have seasons.
So, I mean, credit to the Leviacor for doing that. They also did Lost Ark. Like, they'll probably be involved with the Lord of the Rings thing. Yeah, because they put on like
the business, man.
They put on incredible events like that. I would think though with House, because like that New World launch that they did, the event around it, Cole, you're talking about like how the game's not where they want it to be. I feel like they might have just sold however many copies they sold, and they're like, well, let's go to the next one.
Here's the thing.
Let's make the next one.
Why you're saying that. I see why you're saying that. But an MMO is a long-term investment. An MMO, you have to keep.
You're not wrong. Yeah,
you have to keep developing it for players to be there. Like you don't make an MMO. I mean, you could. Don't get me wrong, but you could do so better with different types of games to make a quick buck.
That's true,
as it were. So like that's one of the worst. I mean, it's one of the reasons they're much more difficult to develop. They take more hours. I mean, you're having
more money
login systems, synchrony systems. You keep the servers up. All that tech that goes into it. You know, so it's yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't think anyone's happy with the state of it.
Yeah,
sure.
But again, they're confident enough to license Lord of the Rings. So I mean, hopefully this is going to be a much more solid.
Embracer's also.
I'll try the hell out of it.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings.
I'm curious what engine they'll end up using.
Same. Yeah. So many questions about it that I'm curious about. We will see.